I Married Who is a Hallmark film from 2012, and I will say the title, before I even watched it, really irritated me because it's supposed to be I Married Whom. The grammatical issue there is definitely going to wind me up for the rest of this discussion. But that's not the worst thing about the film. This was released in 2012. It's directed by Kevin Connor, written by Nina Weinman, and we have a cast including Kellie Martin and Ethan Erickson. And while I usually have nothing but praise for Hallmark films, for the most part, this one did not work. I think the narrative was a really poor idea. I think, and this may just be my opinion, maybe other people really love the story, but I think they should have taken a different direction, and it would have been more likable. Because our protagonist, Jordan, is about to be married. She's engaged, and she goes to Vegas, and this is to go for her bachelorette party. And while she's in Vegas, she kind of gets married to a film star. And that's not the issue. Her getting married to a film star while she's in Vegas, it's fine. It makes sense. It could happen, I guess. But the fact that she was engaged to be married made her so unlikable. I did not like this character. Yes, she was drunk, but who cares? That's not an excuse. Whereas, had she not been engaged, had she maybe been feeling depressed, maybe she'd been a member of another bachelorette party. So maybe the bachelorette party is a reason to go to Vegas, but she was not the one getting married. She got drunk, drowned her sorrows, and then accidentally got married. She wouldn't be as unlikable. Sure, she made a bad decision, but she's not cheating on her fiancé. And she didn't really seem to have much remorse for what she did. So I feel like instantly, well, almost instantly, it happens very quickly, Jordan became a really unlikable protagonist. I could not care less for her. The only thing I hoped for this is that by the end of the film, she'd be on her own. And I'm not going to say whether or not that happens, of course, but I really could not care about her. So I don't think it's a good narrative. I think it could have worked if they took a different direction, but the general concept could have been the same, because she also has to deal with paparazzi and obviously suddenly being thrown into the media limelight because she's just married a film star, so she's getting a lot of attention that way as well. And that part of it could have absolutely worked had they taken a different direction. The narrative didn't need to change that much, and she still could have had these feelings of, what do? I need to get divorced. How is this going to happen? Can we get an annulment? All of it could have worked, and she would have been so much more likable. So I think they made a really bad decision in making her incredibly unlikable from the very beginning. With regards to the rest of the narrative, I guess it's fine. Everything makes sense within the context of the story. The pacing's not too bad. The characters are well enough written. They're not always likable, as we can see with Jordan, but they're well enough written. In fact, I don't think Jordan's that well written. I don't think she's a very believable character, but the rest of the characters, absolutely fine. The technical aspects are fine, camera work's fine, lighting's fine, but when you have an insufferable protagonist, none of that really matters, because I don't recommend it. It was a bad start with the grammatical issue, and it just kind of went downhill from there. Obviously, had the film been amazing, I'd overlook the title, but unfortunately, there's not really anything about the film that's worth watching. So, unusually for me, I don't recommend this Hallmark film. I'm a big Hallmark fan. Absolutely love Hallmark films. Some of the older ones, I have to say, are not as good as the ones that were released since maybe, let's say, 2020, 2021. I feel like that's when Hallmark really started to find its niche and really started to find its groove with the type of films, for the most part, that it wants to create. I'm talking about their rom-coms, of course. Some of the older ones, they're still trying to find the style they want to go for, and as we can see here, there are elements of Hallmark that we know today, but the quality just isn't there. I Married Who isn't a good film. Jordan is not a likable protagonist, and based on that, I really don't recommend it.